Welcome to Colombia! Today, all information, facts and figures about Colombia. Welcome, wonderful people in Colombia, interested travelers all over the world. I'm very happy you tuned in today, and I hope I can give you valuable information as always on my channel. Everything about Colombia, the real Colombia tourist channel. Hello, my name is Frank. I'm Swiss and I came to Colombia 5 years ago, and today I run a travel agency here in Bogota. So let's talk facts about Colombia. Official language is Spanish, but there are over 80 indigenous languages also spoken around the country, and not all of the indigenous actually speak Spanish. The capital is Bogota, a city with more or less 10 million inhabitants. The area is 1.14 square kilometers. This is like Germany and France combined, or California and Texas. So Colombia is huge, it's very big. Then we have a presidential democracy. The currency is the Colombian peso, and currently 4,000 Colombian pesos are $1, so it's very cheap. And phone pre-dial is +57. Colombia is located in South America and has two coasts. It has Atlantic coast and Pacific coast, and it is between Panama, Venezuela, Brazil, Peru and Ecuador. And Colombia is divided into 6 regions, and I read them. It's the Andes, Caribbean lowland, Pacific lowland, Amazonia, Orinoco and the islands. Climate is very diverse because we go from sea level up to 5,700 meters above sea level. So we have hot and humid, we have hot and dry in deserts, we have hot and rainy all the time, we have some very wet regions which are also very biodiverse. We have cold and rainy, we have cold and dry. Actually, the most climates you find in the world you also find here in Colombia because of the different altitudes and regions you can find here in Colombia. Demography. Colombia is the second most populated country in South America after Brazil, and is also the 4th largest country in South America after Brazil, Argentina and Peru. And about 3/4 of the population live in cities or metropolitan areas. And there are several cities with over 1 million inhabitants, and we have Bogota, Medellin, Cali and Barranquilla. Ethnic composition of Colombia. Colombia is very varied, and this has to do with the history, because in the beginning you had the indigenous, and then you had the Spaniards in the 1500s coming to Colombia and colonizing it, and also they brought African slaves, and today you have a big mix of everything, and it's very cool and very diverse, and you find almost everything. Colombia is also very biodiverse. It's actually the second most biodiverse country in the world after Brazil. And to give you some figures, over 55,000 different plant species, 3,500 different orchids. This is about 15% of the whole planet. You find most bird species here in Colombia, over 1,900. This is about 20% of the whole world. Then also you find over 350 different mammal species. Overall, Colombia contains over 10% of all plant and animal species of the planet. It's just amazing. It's a lot. And then also you have 5 areas that have been declared UNESCO Biosphere Reserves. You have Parque Nacional El Tuparo since 79, Nudo de los Pastos since 79, Parque Nacional Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta since 79, Santuario de Fauna y Flora Ciénaga Grande de Santa Marta since 2000, and Parque Nacional Natural Old Providence since 2000. 10 different religions in Colombia. Religion. Over 90% of the population are Christians, of which about 70% are Roman Catholic. The rest are divided in evangelical, Jewish, Muslim, and the small part belongs to the indigenous religions. Health. Life expectancy for men is 72 years in average, and for women 79 years. And in the metropolitan areas you have good coverage, good hospitals. On the countryside, not that much. Then we have education. You have a partly public and partly private educational system. You have preschool, primary school and high schools, and then you have different universities. Most children attend school for 9 years, and this is free of charge, but you also have private options. There are almost 90 universities across the country, and around 30 of which are owned by the state. The best university is Universidad Nacional, which has buildings that cannot be accessed anymore because they're falling apart. So there is some difficulty with the financing of public universities in Colombia. Culture. There are several subcultures in Colombia. Depending on the region where you're going, you will find totally different cultures and also very different ethnics. Then we have different food in Colombia because you have different regions. Like here in Bogota on 2,700 meters, it's usually cold, so you have many soups and food that gives you energy. Then you go to the Caribbean coast and you have lots of fish and seafood, lots of it is fried. Then you can go to the Llanos or the Orinoco region where they grow cattle and you have mostly meat products. So you see also in Colombia, depending on the regions, you will find different food. Beverages. In Colombia, people mainly drink beer. Wine is not so much consumed. You have some wine producers, a few in Colombia. Interestingly is that the grapes, they grow the whole year, and in some years they can actually harvest twice. And very famous in Colombia are the fresh fruit juices. Everybody who ever visited Colombia will remember the very delicious juices you can get all over the country. History. In Colombia, you had long before the Spaniards arrived, you had indigenous, you had high cultures of South America 4,000 years before Christ. You had the Muiscas in the Eastern Cordillera, and you had the Tairona in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. And also today you will find proofs of those ancient cultures. Colonial period. In 1499, Alonso de Ojeda and Amerigo Vespucci discovered Colombia. Santa Marta then was founded 1525, and then the Spaniards started to colonize and invade whole Colombia. In 1547, Colombia became a province of New Granada with Bogota as its center, and it was part of the Viceroyalty of Peru. And in the 17th century, 80% of the world's gold exploration came from Colombia. In 1717, the today's countries, Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, and Ecuador, were proclaimed vice royalty of New Granada. It was one country. And then after that, independence. We had the big General Simon Bolivar, the big liberator of South America, who started 1810 to bring independency to South America and fight the Spaniards. Politics. Colombia has been a democratic republic since 1886. The president is elected for a 4-year period, and the Congress consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Constitution was adopted in 1991 and is considered to be very progressive. People elect the president directly. Colombia is also a member of the Union of South American Nations, the World Bank, the WTO and United Nations. Colombia is politically divided into 32 departments and the capital district. Military. The military is divided into the army, the navy, the air force and the federal police. For men, you have a general conscription of 12 to 22 months. Women can volunteer for duty. But there are actually many reasons to get away. Mostly rich kids, they don't serve. Infrastructure. Infrastructure and investments were partly replaced and are increasingly private investments. This has also some very specific reasons. Road traffic. Colombia has one of the worst transportation infrastructures in Latin America, and I know it because I'm driving all around Colombia all the time. So of the approximately 113,000 kilometers of roads, only about 30,000 kilometers are paved. And the parts that are paved sometimes have more holes than pavement. That's why I have a big truck. And also education and getting the driving license for a long time was very easy, and this is reflected by the way people behave and drive in the traffic. Then also Bogota has the world record right now for commuters losing time, and this is about 2 hours a day. Bus traffic. In Colombia you can get actually everywhere by bus or bus-like vehicles. Rail transport. In 95 there was actually connection from Bogota to Santa Marta, and there was railroad all around Colombia. But then some politicians thought this is a very ancient way of traveling and has no future, so it got lost. Today there's almost no of those railroad services left, unfortunately. Shipping. You have different harbors in Colombia. You have some harbors on the Caribbean coast, like Santa Marta and Cartagena, and also Barranquilla. And then you have Buenaventura on the Pacific coast, which is the most important harbor of Colombia. Air traffic. The airport El Dorado here in Bogota, with connections with the whole world. Telecommunications. Surprisingly, the mobile connection is quite good. Internet, more or less. I live here in La Candelaria, the historic part of Bogota, and the fastest internet I can get for my office is 6 megabytes, and yeah, speaks for itself. National economy. Colombia has large markets in textile, food, raw materials. You find gold and you find coffee and you find oil. Colombia is actually super rich in terms of commodities, but the distribution is not so good. So Colombia still seems to be a very poor country, although we have everything here. Employment. Unemployment rate is still high. It's around 12%, officially, unofficially probably higher. And The thing is that you have minimal wages are very low, salaries are very low. Many people are not getting a fixed contract, but independent worker contract, so there's not much security. And also the irregular market is very big. That means that people just start a business and they declare nothing. They sell food on the street and that's it. Art. Even in pre-Columbian times there was produced so much art, and if you're coming to Colombia you have to visit the Gold Museum here in Bogota and you will see stunning pieces. Also you have a very famous artist Fernando Botero, but that's not everything you can find. You can find much more. You have different museums here in Bogota, in Medellin, and you had, for example, the big writer Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and you have the biggest festival in Latin America, which is called the Festival Iberoamericano de Teatro in Bogota every second year. And then, very beautiful, you find UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Colombia. And those are the fortifications and monuments of Cartagena. You have the historic center of Santa Cruz de Monpós. You have Tierra Adentro Archaeological Park. There is San Agustin Archaeological Park. And the coffee growing areas in the western and central Cordilleras. And there is more. We have World Natural Heritage, De Los Cachos National Park, and Malpelo Island. Ooh, difficult to get to Malpelo Island. Then we have masterpieces of oral, intellectual and intangible cultural heritage. The Barranquilla Carnival, which is the second biggest carnival in the world after Rio. We have the Black and White Carnival in Pasto. And we have the Palenque de San Basilio cultural area. So that's it. Facts and figures, what you should know about Colombia, basic knowledge. I hope you enjoyed that video. I send you the best wishes from today's sunny Bogota. I hope to see you on my channel soon again, or even better, here in Colombia, drinking some Colombian coffee. Send you the best wishes. Yours, Colombiafrank. See you next time. Bye bye.